try and close out and prevent Zachary from getting infinite energy on, basically infinite energy on the board all at once. You know, one at a time. You got to play at my pace, and Zachary's trying to
win before Isaiah puts him into a lock.
Yeah. So we see Zachary starting off first, playing that order pad, gets the heads or. Wait. What's that? How do you search that?
How did he search for the Keldeo with the order pad?
Did he get an Ultra Ball or something?
We may have started, you guys came in a little late, so you may have started it or something.
Yeah, okay.
But what's under the order pad?
Maybe it's an Ultra Ball, away, order pad, and something else. I only see one card in the discard, so most likely an Execute that was repropagated back into the hand.
Probably.
But we see Zachary playing that Battle Compressor, most likely gonna discard some supporters and a Blastoise.
Definitely a Blastoise. Probably another egg.
Yeah.
But he's got a Juniper right here.
So card underneath
is that a Kingdra GX?
Yeah, that's
it's a Kingdra GX. It's a new release from Dragon's Majesty.
Yeah. And he has the turn 1 Archies.
He does. And
Blastoise.
he gets that secret rare Blastoise on his bench.
And draw 5 cards from the Archie's Ace in the Hole. See a couple energy and a bunch of superior energy retrievals. Just gonna attach to his Keldeo, probably a decent attacker in this matchup. I'd like to see Zachary spread his energy everywhere because Isaiah does play that one of Articuno GX with the Cold Crush GX attack.
Absolutely.
It discards all the energy between both active Pokemon. So Isaiah's cool with pitching 1 water energy to discard, you know,
a lot
5+ water energies off of a single attacker. So
Cold Crush could absolutely dismantle Zachary Everest's strategies.
Zachary does not play, so something we were like discussing before the match at some point leading up to top 8, we were discussing the possibility of using Wishy-Washy GX as a Blastoise player to load up the energy onto a single attacker that can take a big knockout, but then redistribute that energy across different attackers. So Isaiah can't just say,
Cold Crush.
Yeah, I'm going to discard all the energies you committed to this one Pokemon. So you get your big knockout on a Zoroark most likely, and then redistribute the energy and say, deal with all this energy across my board instead of on one thing. So.
Absolutely. One thing that kind of alarms me in Zachary's list is that he plays no stadiums.
Yeah.
And Isaiah plays Silent Lab and
the
2 Delinquents.
Yeah, 2 Parallel City and the Silent Lab. So if Isaiah went first, he could have, Zachary got the turn 1 Archies anyway without using a lot of abilities, but in the instance Isaiah would, if he went first, he can simply lock Zachary out of the game with just playing down a Silent Lab, since he'll probably find out over the course of the series, or, after game 1, he'll see Zachary didn't play Stadium all game, so either he's holding it, never saw it, or doesn't play it at all, and then he can make that safe
decision from there.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Something different about these matches that we're commentating on right now, since we're in a top cut scenario, we have 75 minutes for each game.
Best of 3.
Best of 3, and there are no tiebreak, or
there are no ties in top 8.
There are no ties in top 8. You have to have a clear-cut winner. So if there's ever a game that goes to time, the game is determined by most prizes taken, or at least prizes remaining. And if the match would end up in a 1-1, record, they would play a sudden death of 1 game, 1 prize.
Did Zachary Everest just pass?
I think so. His hand's just clogged with superior energy retrievals, and he attached all his energies and keeps drawing cards he can't play out. So
that's another thing that scares me about Archie's Blastoise.
And even though we featured Isaiah, both players in throughout the weekend, Isaiah most likely will just try to maintain that Oranguru lock, where Um, he infinitely incurs resources like the red card, delinquent, and a stadium combo, just so he can say, "Oh hey, I'm discarding 3 cards from your hand, or eventually your deck, every turn, or
Absolutely.
whenever I need to." And Zachary's just gonna be like, "Well, I could discard these things, I can discard these things, but eventually he's gonna run out of resources." And Isaiah's cool with that because he's a control player. So
Absolutely. He's playing the Anaconda method right now.
yeah. So is he gonna
He just played a battle compressor, getting rid
get
of
rid of the
Egg,
Plumeria?
Plumeria, and Enhance Hammer.
So
Enhance Hammer is pretty much a dead card
Trick
in this
Shovel,
matchup.
and he's doing this to himself so he can see, do I want the next card? Maybe not. And then, he discarded that red card. Something we were just talking about, for the red card, stadium delinquent combo that could, change the tempo of the game,
Absolutely.
lock him into place.
Keldeo rushes in, and Secret Swords Zorua.
It only looks like there's 2 energy on the Keldeo, but there must be 3 if
Yeah, he
Isaiah
just attached the third one.
Okay. It just looks weird, like from my point of view, like the glare. But Isaiah responding with promoting the Lele. It has energy attached to it, so if he needs to, he can retreat it, or he can say, "I'm gonna do 100 to your."
Thank you
Keldeo.
for the judge. He moves that third energy
Yeah.
out from under the Keldeo.
Okay, making it more clear for us. Thank you so much, stream judge. Can't hear us, but he's just gonna battle compressor after taking that 100 from Tapu Lele. Isaiah's content with
Trading this Lele.
trading a Lele because he's gonna have to commit more energies to a Keldeo to knock out the Lele, and then you lose all that energy on that Keldeo. You burn more resources to get those energies back. So off this battle compressor, what do you think Zachary's gonna look for? I see him moving Waters and Fisherman.
Absolutely. He's definitely probably got to be a secret in hand to get that energy back.
Yeah. So outside of the superior energy retrieval, Zachary can keep re-incurring water energy that he loses if he has his Keldeos knocked out or has to discard too many water energy. He can use Fisherman for his supporter for the turn and just get up to 4 energies back from his discard and back into his hand.
He actually has superior energy retrieval here.
What are his discards? Are there 2
It
more superior?
It looks like 2 more.
Oh, maybe he's just trying to. I think he's gonna go for a Juniper play, so he's attaching all those energies to.
He's gonna Archie again.
Oh, second Archies to
Bring
get the Kingdra.
That Kingdra is so disruptive.
Yeah. So that Kingdra GX,
It's-
it's another stage 2. Oh, you can talk about it.
It hits 10 damage plus 50 for every water energy that's attached to it. So he'll attach a Super Boost energy. Actually, he doesn't play Super Boost energy, but there's enough water in this deck for it to hit well over 210.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever a point where he would get enough stage 2s. Not that he doesn't play them,
yeah.
but besides that, there's not enough time to get enough stage 2s out for
Yeah.
Super Boost to be a factor, if that was a thing. But
Sorry, I got confused with the standard deck that my friends played at Memphis. It's a Kingdra Snipe deck, and they did play the Kingdra GX and played Super Boost.
I think that's the beauty of the 2 different formats is you see different combinations of the cards. Kingdra GX in standard, you have to play more traditionally with the evolution line and everything. But here in expanded, you can just put it in the discard and bring it back out with Archie's Ace in a hole. So it's pretty neat seeing all the cool stuff that expanded brings to the format. Or
Did he
to
just draw a
tournament.
Sycamore?
I think so.
That's kind of huge. No, that's a Pokemon communication.
Yeah. Can we update Zachary's prizes? I think he has 3 prizes remaining. So
Isaiah's kind
Pokemon-
of in a pickle.
yeah, Pokemon communications, playing down that Kingdra signify. He went through the effort to get that Archie's target into the discard and put it down in response to, he's losing this Keldeo, and I think with the 230 HP and how much less energy he has to commit to Kingdra to do the same amount of damage as a Keldeo, I really like that line of play from Zachary.
Absolutely.
So Isaiah's going to grab a Tapu Lele off the Pokemon Communications, Wonder Tag for that Professor Sycamore, and then
dumps his whole hand.
There's no stadium to play, so he gets no value from playing the Delinquent. Not that, he could play it, but he'd rather just draw cards.
He still doesn't find his Zoroark.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I wish we knew their prizes.
Yeah. We don't have the sweet prize cam technology.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. This Battle Compressor. All his Zoroarks are at the top just to... just searching through. He at least has to discard one card. He can't just play the Battle Compressor for nothing. You have to at least discard one card. You can discard up to 3, but you have to at least discard one card. So he's getting rid of the weakness policy. It's a non-factor in this matchup since none of his stuff is water weak except the Sudowoodo, which he's not going to play down in this matchup. And Max Potion, since Zachary's going to just aim for the big knockouts. So, if he finds an instance where Zachary does whiff, like, sure, you could Max Potion, but most of the time Zachary will reach enough energy to one-shot anything Isaiah could possibly throw up.
So. Absolutely, especially if he didn't get rid of 2 super energy retrievals in that turn when we saw him.
Yeah, so he played that 1 and discarded 2, so there's literally 3 superior energy retrievals just gone from the rest of the game. So, I also like the play where he got the Kingdra out because of how its damage ramps up exponentially with each attachment. It can kill a Seismitoad with
3 energies and a choice band.
Yeah, 3 energies and a band modifier, and that's a real strength of these control type Zoroark decks, is being able to pick and choose your spots of, I can promote their Ringuru or the Seismitoad, or actually take prizes with my Zoroark or my Tapu Lele. So
right now Isaiah is really feeling the heat that his deck is bringing him.
Yeah, because he's not able to play down every... Oh, there's the Articuno GX.
Oh. Is that how that works?
Wait, how did he get that active? How do you retreat that?
The Articuno has an ability.
Oh, it's a Russian, basically.
Yeah.
Or when you bench it, it becomes active, right?
Yes. But it has to switch a water energy, so I don't know if that's...
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have his Zoroark, so he can't dig for that water energy to announce the GX attack.
True.
Oh, now he's down to 3, and there are 5 energy and a muscle band on that Keldeo, so that's going to be 170
damage.
Damage?
Yeah.
And the 1 float stone to the Blastoise, I really like that. Typically, if you have multiple Keldeos in the deck, most people would put the float stone on a Keldeo, but him saying, I'm not going to have another Keldeo on my bench at any time, so I'm going to throw it on the biggest target on my bench, which is the 4 Retreat Blastoise.
Absolutely. And what Zachary doesn't know is that Isaiah plays Silent Lab, so that Silent Lab he could pull up another Keldeo or something like that without any energy.
Yeah, I mean,
leave it stranded.
Yeah, given Zachary's board position, not just because he has a full bench, but one interesting is, no wait, Isaiah played down that Parallel City, so it negates 20. I was like, and we just talked about how Zachary doesn't play any stadiums, so I was just like, oh hey,
he does have a lone field blower.
Yeah, and I think that's more along for like Garb and stuff, but
that's not a knockout.
That's not a knockout. Is it? Unless there's enough energy, and we just missed it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that's 120, 170, 190.
Yeah, it's 190.
Yeah,
190
and then
choice band.
170.
Yeah, we just missed the energy.
We're just one short, energy short. So sorry about that, guys. Isaiah just reading Kingdra GX. Never seen it before.
Zachary goes down to 1 prize left. Isaiah hoping he can pull something out of his deck.
15 minutes gone, and looks like Zachary's gonna
Isaiah
is in a position to take this game, and we might see game 2 starting soon. But
absolutely.
Isaiah, he still has a whole hour, and he's very well adjusted to time and well aware.
Don't count him out yet.
Yeah. He's going to probably see what he gets off this end before deciding, yes, I'm going to go to game 2.
Ripping a Zoroark could change this entire board state for him.
Yeah. He's already put the Silent Lab down, so the only ability that Zachary could even use on his board is Blastoise's Deluge. So it cuts any other line of play out from Zachary. He only has 1 card left in hand.
Isaiah still hasn't found a Zoroark, but this time he finds the Ultra Ball.
Yeah, so
he still doesn't have the knockout on this Keldeo. And that's gotta be hard on you.
Yeah. He just needs another basic. But I almost really don't want to see him bench something super small because, it's only a 1 energy attachment away from being knocked out from a Kingdra, so
he's got to trade something though. He's got to try it.
Yeah.
Did he find another Ultra Ball?
He got a counter catcher and an Ultra Ball.
He's going for the basic. He's got to kill the Keldeo.
Yeah, it's too important. And he can't just grab another Zora. He only has a Toad. Oh, he has a Rangaroo.
Good. He finds the Rangaroo. His deck is very thin. I feel like his prizes are hurting him really badly.
Yeah. So he's going to take 2 prizes finally. Isaiah down to 4 prizes.
He finds another DCE, and I believe a Water Energy.
So 1 card. What can Zachary pull off with 2 cards in hand? Trainer's Mail.
Water.
Shaman.
Border Pad. And in.
Border Pad can make stuff happen. Just a coin flip, and he might possibly win this game. Oh, heads? Probably Via Seeker for Fisherman?
Yeah, this might be the game. Oh, he field blowers the lab.
Yeah, so he's thinking of some ability to use Fisherman.
Gets the energy, retreats the Blastoise. It's
210. Yeah, it's 210. It's enough.
That's game.
That's game 1. Wrapped up. So, after seeing that, what do you think Isaiah's main plan is? He has just short of 50. He has just short of 60 minutes to win 2 games.
I think Isaiah's game plan is still going to be the same. Use that snake method to choke out his opponent's resources, and then start attacking from there. He's definitely trying to take a few more key knockouts and effectively use Cold Crush GX.
Yeah. I think him missing that missing all those Zoroarks for all those turns he's played, and then not having, he benched the Articuno, promoted it to the active, and couldn't find the Water Energy to do the Cold Crush GX to at least force more resources off of Zachary's board. Hey, you already burned 3 of your superior energy retrievals, and, I'm forcing you to dig for VS Seekers for that Fisherman.
Absolutely.
Under Silent Lab lock.
If he hadn't hit heads on that order pad, we'd probably be looking at a really different game.
Yes, that order pad heads was basically a 50-50 shot of Zachary winning, and he got it. So
Because the rest of those cards you pulled off that trainer's mail weren't worth anything.
Yeah, he's not gonna end himself back down to 1. That would be like the high roll way to like BM and win, but I think you just want to take the 50-50 shot of guaranteed winning versus
The 50-50
possibly
shot
still
of-
losing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do I end myself to 1 or just go for a coin flip to win the game right now? And then he got it. So, not much Isaiah can do about that. It's just,
RNG.
it's just probability. It's in Zach's favor. Order pad heads, really good.
Especially when you win 4 of them. You're bound to hit, what, 1 of them?
You're bound to hit 2 on average. You play 4 of, that's 50-50 odds. You should at least hit 1, but at most, like...
Is that a Palkia?
Yeah, he's leading the Palkia, so...
That's a horrible starter.
I think given the rest of his Pokemon, he can't. 'Cause I see the Kingdra
Yeah.
and a Juniper, and I
Is that a
think a
Keldeo?
Compressor... That's not a Keldeo. So it looks like a VS Seeker, a Battle Compressor, a Water Energy, a Juniper, a Kingdra, and some other card that, I was...
It looked like there was orange on it, like a Keldeo. But, you know,
No, I think that was the Professor Juniper.
you're probably right. Because he was playing full arts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
these players just stunting on us.
you're right. That
Isaiah
professor,
going for just a general turn 1 Bridget. Just not benching a Lele. Attaching the Water Energy now.
I think that's fine.
I think his opponent, he's already seen the card, and,
He knows it's there.
he knows it's there, and it's just like, well, I'm not going to just spend a turn to not attach energy
Absolutely.
to, Zachary doesn't play any disruption, and it's that Water Energy safe on that Articuno. So,
Zach with the Battle Compressor. He's probably going to get rid of some eggs and a Blastoise.
so there's a Blastoise. Looks like even a Water Energy.
I think he's at the bottom. He's
Oh,
gathered.
so that last card that we couldn't find was the Trainer's Mail. So it's like the alternate art.
Okay, so it's red. It's got
Yeah.
the shiny glare
It's-
on it.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going for the Blastoise, the Archie, and
Yeah,
and the
and
egg.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
Standard.
line of play. And it really depends. So, taking those 3 cards out of his deck give him better odds because if he hits some way to discard. So we see the order pad. Oh, Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball gets him the Archies. He can discard the Juniper and the Kingdra, and then play out the rest of that hand to get that turn 1 Archie. So yeah, he's gonna grab the Ultra Ball, not fiddle with the order pad's flip.
Of course not.
So he's discarding the Kingdra and the Professor Juniper like we just talked about, and I think we're gonna see not a Lele, but a Keldeo. It's a good starter Pokemon to
Especially
load
since he
up
has
on.
this heavy Palkia in his active.
Yeah.
Palkia's GX is 0 Vanish,
Yeah.
correct? 0 Vanish GX, and gets
And
rid of all the
energy on your
opponent's
board.
side.
Yeah, but Isaiah's only gonna have 1 or 2 energies on his board at a time at max out of his 5 energies in the deck.
But each of those energies counts way more than
Yeah.
any energy in Archie's.
Yeah, but for the effect of not knocking out this Articuno or any big GX Pokemon in Isaiah's deck, and then committing 5 energy, and then Isaiah can just say Cold Crush. You tried to meme on me, but I'll just get rid of all your water energies and my 1 water energy. So
Sometimes we like to see the memes.
order pad heads, of course. This man can't be stopped.
It's 2 for 2, right?
Yeah. So, just gonna grab the Battle Compressor, probably discarding the other egg and the other Blastoise just so he doesn't see them, or Water Energy. he sees value in, possibly getting attack off this turn against his Articuno GX.
Definitely.
So
Well, it looks like
he's
Isaiah.
taking his time, just looking at his hand to see what he wants to discard from his deck. But, yeah, so 2 water energies and an egg, that's not a bad play.
He probably has the
Superior,
super.
yeah. He already has the other egg in, so
His
he
hand.
gets that for free.
Sick. That's always a great combo. It's almost ban worthy.
I mean, we can talk about that anytime. Wait, right? Execute. Just
I'm gonna do this until forever.
yeah. Both players trying to abuse how good execute is.
Definitely.
For the same reasons, I have all these items that give my deck extremely more consistent outs to this resource that I want or need,
Uh-oh.
and I can pay for it for free. So
Zachary's attaching these energies to Palkia GX.
I think Palkia has all of the big GX EX attackers in Zachary's deck have some sort of ramp up mechanic with one of their attacks, where just the more water energies on it, it boosts. I'm not sure about the base damage on Palkia's ramp up attack and the modifier, but I know Palkia, Keldeo, and Kingdra all
We've got another. Is he about to Archie again? He's already played his score for turn.
yeah. No, he played the Archies for the Blastoise.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his turn 1. And here, Zachary's showing a lot of restraint, not overcommitting to that Palkia. Something that, we kind of touched on before the match started. If Zachary doesn't play around, if he just commits all of his energy to one Pokemon, Isaiah will definitely take the opportunity to use his Cold Crush GX attack.
Seems that Isaiah's found a Silent Lab and another Zoroark.
Yeah, so this time, he finally, he's seen twice the Zoroarks he saw in the last game in his second turn. So already a better start for Isaiah.
Is that another one, or is that a Lele right there?
I think it's a Lele. So trading that Sycamore, before deciding to commit to that Sycamore discard, the rest of his hand, he has another trade still. So
He does.
yep, there's a Wonder Tag.
Opting to Wonder Tag, definitely. He
So
grabs
he's
the
gonna grab the
Delinquent.
Delinquent.
Oh, no.
He's gonna
Zachary
Stadium
has-
Delinquent all his entire hand
Man.
away and force him to rely on top decking.
And he's going to Cold Crush him. He's going to leave this man in peril.
The only thing that would, if he top decks Superior Energy Retrieval or Fisherman, I'm just gonna be like, this man's hot. Man's not hot,
Oh, man.
bruh. Brawlic play. Zachary in awe of what just happened. 0 card hand. What's he top deck? Is that the Zerosic?
I don't know what that is.
I think it's the Zerosic, but he can't play it. He just passes because he can't do anything. I think in Isaiah's current position, well, there's not a way for him to hit 140, but because it's not the Skyfield variant that I'm used to seeing Isaiah play, I was gonna say, oh, Isaiah just needs to Skyfield, load up, and then knock out the Blastoise, but that's not an option in his deck because he's playing Control now. So
This is the first time in an expanded tournament in a long time that Isaiah's not playing a deck that has 4 eggs.
yeah, so him just cutting down to 2 eggs, conceding the fact that in light of the Ghetsis, Hex, and Puzzle of Time ban, he can't afford to run 4 eggs. Opting to, cut back on abusing, 4 propagations. It's essentially the same thing if you just reuse 2 versus 4. But instead of going to the maximum damage route, He's going for this slow, methodical, grind you out of all your resources, and then once I establish that you have no more resources, I win. Because you're either decking out, or I just, knock you out before you deck out. So
Absolutely.
he's Ultra Balling for that egg. Discarding another Delinquent and a Counter Catcher.
We're about to see a series of trades.
So, see Isaiah holding that Oranguru in his hand for dear life. I know that's going to come out at some point, knowing him. There it is, right on schedule.
He's going to manage some resources. Oh, and
now he's going to deny this knockout on this Articuno GX that, he did what he wanted, discarded some energy off of Zachary's board, put him down to now a 2-card hand after, putting him down to 0 cards. And I think the strategy that, I asked Isaiah before top 8 started, I'm like, hey, how would you approach an energy rush sort of matchup? And he's like, well, I just have to loop my stadiums and Delinquent and then just leave them at 0 cards in hand and just force them to rely on top decking for the rest of the game. As long as I can establish that, I should be able to win. And we're seeing Isaiah actually make that plan come to fruition. So it just all depends on, can Zachary find an answer to, this seemingly overwhelming, board state from Isaiah.
Absolutely. This control deck can be very oppressive when they get going.
So I'm pretty sure that's a battle compressor of those 3 particular resources. He doesn't need Enhanced Hammer. Zach plays no special energy, so Isaiah doesn't want to see those. I mean, they're good trade fodder if they happen to be in his hand, but he just doesn't want to draw into them. So.
Absolutely. Especially when the game's going so swimmingly for now.
So there's the second Oranguru. He's going to put himself down to 3, reduce the damage that Zachary could even do if, he had enough energy.
He's got to discard, so.
Yeah, he's got to discard the Lele. He's going to VS Seeker for Delinquent. Oh, he just VS Seeker for Delinquent. And then now he's going to
resource manage.
Lamb, please come to the front.
Isaiah Williams trying to make
this thing, make this guru do some work.
Yeah, so I know we're just sort of rehashing that Isaiah's really abusing the power of resource management, Oranguru, all throughout the weekend. All these Zoroark decks just finding the exact moment where they can do this sort of, you have no energy on your board, I'm preventing you from playing the game, and now I'm building infinite cards in deck.
With a top deck via Seeker for Archie, he grabs the Kingdra.
Brolic play.
You
like,
can't
if
keep
you're
him
Isaiah,
down
you're
for
just
long.
like, yeah, that happens. Like, I can't stop it. It just happens.
He's got a computer search. He can find that last retrieval and blow up this Oranguru.
Double propagate.
He's
He has
got a
that superior,
retrieval in hand.
yeah, already in hand. So it was the last game where he had to burn a bunch early game, discard 2 superior energy retrievals off of 1 to get 2 energies. This one a lot more value because he's just reusing the same old eggs. Zachary possibly discarding another Blastoise? Yeah, I think he's discarding another Blastoise. Just, I don't want to see this ever again. It can stay in the discard. And then, using the 1 egg instead of 2.
Let's see what he gets. It looks like a water energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'd ever want a computer search for one water energy, but
He
Zach
already
seems to have
used
a
the-
plan.
Yeah, he's already used the superior energy retrieval to get. He has 4 total energies in hand, so I think he's comfortable with just.
Oh, now he's about to start taking
'Cause,
knockouts with Kingdra.
like you said earlier, like in the last game, actually, on the last turn of the game, he loaded up, was able to get 4 energy onto a Kingdra and just take the final prize.
Absolutely.
And 210 is enough to hit everything in Isaiah's deck for a knockout.
And the kickback on Kingdra's, it has 230 HP, and since Isaiah's not maxing out his damage with Zoroark, this Kingdra's gonna stick around for a while. It may be the thorn in Isaiah's side.
Yeah. He's already burned the Cold Crush early on. I don't know, at the imminent threat of not a 0 vanish, but you know, it's one of the attackers that relies on multiple water energy commitments, and he's like, I have to deal with this before it gets out of hand, but then another one just got out of hand, so I think that strategy is like good for if he can only establish one, but he has 3 of them on board, so
Absolutely.
he's just gonna cycle between, you know, which big boy can I load up and then
smack with.
And right now, Kingdra trades the most efficiently, not just because of its huge HP numbers, but just how much more damage it adds up for each attachment committed to it. So.
Absolutely.
There's Isaiah getting the Toad, so most likely gonna go for counter catcher Quaking Punch play.
Possibly.
But Zachary has a Keldeo on the bench, so he can't just strand Blastoise in the active, because then
he can strand Blastoise or Keldeo.
Yeah. Because Keldeo just like, oh, I can return knockout if I get enough energy. I just need energy to get the knockout on your Toad. And then Blastoise is like, oh, just have Keldeo rush in and take the hits instead. So Zachary has a lot of time. He has a lot of beefy things on his board that, you know, these Toads out here aren't relying on a bunch of damage modifiers. They're actually relying on damage modifiers to increase the number of hits it takes to knock out their opponent's Pokemon. To abuse how Quaking Punch places that one-sided item lock that, you know, does minimal damage, can't play around it, because all the players that included Pokemon Ranger in their list this weekend did not advance to Day 2, to my knowledge. And a lot of the lists I've seen of the Day 2 decks, none of them played Pokemon Ranger, so that's the only inherent counter to something like Quaking Punch Lock, to break Quaking Punch Lock.
But most times, Quaking Punch without ability lock doesn't hurt Zoroark, because they can always get rid of their items.
Yeah. I'm saying Quaking Punch into Archie's, but...
Oh, Quaking Punch into Archie's.
Archie's does enough damage to, you know...
Oh, one-shot a Toad
I'm
for
fine
sure.
with passing a few turns because I'm going to build up enough energy in my hand to return knockout your Seismitoad.
Absolutely. And sometimes they just draw into the Fisherman manually without getting it from their discard.
Yeah. Or just... At least he can't Order Pad heads like he has every other time. Because he's item locked, so... Plumeria. Now he's knocking,
He's dropped that damage down by 50
160.
points.
Making it a bit safer for himself. Trick Shovel. It's most likely a water energy, and he's trying to decide if it's even worth discarding it. Because if he just top decks a Fisherman, but if he lets him keep it, then, you know, he's going to decide to let Zachary keep that card. We'll see what it is next turn, but that's like sort of the minor detail, because you can Trick Shovel either yourself or your opponent, and if it's a bad card, you just, you know, your opponent's going to see that card anyway, so you just leave it for them. I like that parallel facing Isaiah direction, because now even if Zachary does get that 4th water energy,
He still
it's
can't
190
one-shot.
now instead of 210. So
Good thinking on Isaiah's part. He's trying to make it a little bit harder for Zach.
yeah, up superior. Field blower, ultra ball. Yeah, gonna get the superior energy retrieval off the trainer's mail.
That was a little bit too easy. I don't think that Isaiah can handle this Kingdra.
Yeah. Because there's at least 3. Yeah.
There's 3 on now.
There's 3 water
grab
energy in this card. And he'll just load up the Kingdra. Because he's already used the Cold Crush, so there's no threat of...
Yep, and there's 3 or 4 in this card. Yep, and he's probably going to load them all onto this Kingdra.
Yeah, so...
At least 2.
And now it doesn't matter, you know. We talked about if he only gets 1 energy this turn, he can't knock out. But now it's more than enough. He's added 100 damage when all he needed was an extra 20 to push forward. So.
And if this was a Swiss game, Isaiah probably would have scooped it up by now. But he's playing for the.
He's down 1-0, so he's down 0-1, so he has to play out this game to win, and then win a 3rd game.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately,
the writing was on the wall for this one.
I mean, I've seen comebacks, but I don't know what exactly Isaiah could do against a 5 energy Kingdra when not even going in with a but a reactionary Tapu Lele energy drive, because you get 1 knockout at most, and then they just load up a new attacker that just blows out the Lele that he spent a 2-shot the first attacker, and it's just really hard to come back from this sort of position.
Absolutely.
So he's starting to load up that Keldeo, actually. And I really like that because of all the other things on the board, even if Isaiah finds a Guzma to try and stick something active, that Keldeo can always come in because of Russian.
And
unless Isaiah plays the...
Yeah.
On his board, it's like the only other thing with low retreat cost is the Articuno, and it has the same amount of retreat, but Keldeo can always bring itself into the active, so it's a smarter decision. If you're paying the same retreat costs, do it on something that can always come in to retreat.
Absolutely.
So he's just going to Hydro Pump, knock out the Zoroark.
And he's going to go down to 3 prizes. Isaiah's trying to make sense out of this.
Isaiah
checking his
discard pile. Seeing if he can still find some sort of response to Zachary's aggression.
This Kingdra's definitely the big kid on the board state.
Yeah. So Isaiah looking at the Mallow in his hand, considering what 2 cards can I possibly grab from my deck that would change up this matchup. But he did move the Delinquent up to the top and the Trick Shovel. Just checking his discard again, just making sure. In my hand, is there a way to dig for these exact things that I want to win? And he just keeps checking his discard pile to see. I think he's just trying to find the best way to approach this turn, because this turn makes or breaks him, because he's down 6 prizes to 3, and he has to do something about it. So
yeah. He's gonna red
might
card.
see the red card Delinquent Prey that
Possibly.
we
he does have both cards in hand.
but he also needs to hit a DC in order
to punch.
Yeah.
He also needs to find the
Pokemon trading card
counter
player
catcher.
Tristan Fearing, please
Yeah.
come to the deck chat.
I believe he'll dowsing machine for lab or something of this sort here.
Like, just counter catcher, Blastoise, Silent Lab, Quaking Punch, and then hope it sticks, and then hope it buys you enough time to, you know, make something happen. How to react to this fully loaded Kingdra, and how to react to Zachary's immense, ability to just pull things out of nowhere.
Oh, you get to Sycamore.
Draw 7 cards. Oh, there's a bunch of DC. It's Ultra Balling. Looking at his deck. There's no Pokemon,
but he sees the lab.
He sees the lab and the counter catcher, so he's just doing that to shuffle his deck. He only gets to see 4 cards. So, in a 5-card deck, he just needs to miss the one that stops him. So,
he also has to definitely hope that Zachary doesn't find Guzma. Zachary does have a Juniper in his hand, though, off of that red card.
First trade.
He hasn't found the lab yet.
Yeah. Everything's riding on this last trade. Because he can't... I mean, at this point, that Kindra's knocking out everything, so... he doesn't just want to put himself out of a 0-card deck, because then Zachary just say pass, and then...
Absolutely. But his odds are very slim.
He's already used 1 trade. He's debating where to attach this DC. Committing it to the Toad.
He Quaking Punches the Kingdra. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Isaiah just... in awe. Trying to claw back and just... can't keep up with...
The water keeps pouring on for Zach.
Yeah.
The writing's definitely on the wall for this one.
Zachary came through dripping, so...
He did. Drip, drip. Yeah. Not much Isaiah can do here.
Yeah. Isaiah just
probably
looking at his hand. Just see, if he's just nice enough to, not just, scoop it up now, but offer the handshake.
Yeah. We'll probably see it soon. Unless he finds the other 2 cards and can...
Yep.
He extends the
Isaiah
hand.
extending the hand. Good series between both players. Unfortunate for Isaiah Williams, but Zachary winning this match 2-0.
With this very oppressive Kingdra.
Yeah, so...
Oh, wow. The top deck, the next 2 trades he would have gotten the lab.
Was the exact answer he was looking for that we're, discussing. Like, he needs these exact 2 cards from, these trades, and he missed those 2 cards. The 2 cards that would have possibly brought him back into the game. And, Isaiah highlighting, those are the last 2 cards in my deck. If I had these, we could have gone to game 3. And...
possibly.
Yeah, so... Well, if Zachary advances to top 4... Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with an interview.